Ever feel like you are running hard, but not getting richer? Why is it that some people spend their entire lives working tirelessly and still struggle to pay their bills, while others seem to attract wealth without effort? Robert Kiyosaki grew up watching that mystery unfold in real life. He had two fathers. One was highly educated, a PhD, respected, a man who believed in good grades and safe jobs. The other, he never finished school, yet became one of the richest men in Hawaii. One taught him to play it safe. The other taught him how money really works. And the difference between them changed. Robert, life forever. Inside Rich Dad, Poor Dad are 6 lessons. 6 shifts in thinking that can quietly change how you see money. So if you have ever felt that no matter how hard you work, money slips away, you are not alone. And that is exactly where Lesson 1 begins. A truth most people never realize. Lesson 1. The rich do not work for money. Money works for them. Most people work for money. The rich make money work for them. It sounds simple. But this mindset gap defines who stays trapped and who gets free. You get your first job, your first paycheck. Then come the dreams. The car, the apartment, the vacation, the latest phone. You buy them. You feel good. Then the bills arrive. You work harder. Spend more. Work harder again. And just like that, you are stuck in what Robert calls the rat race. Studies show over 60% of people live paycheck to paycheck, no matter their salary. It is not income. It is mindset. The poor say, I cannot afford it. The rich ask, how can I afford it? One closes the mind. The other opens it. The poor and middle class trade time for money. The rich trade ideas for money. They build systems, businesses, assets, investments that keep money moving, even when they rest. So if you are tired of running faster just to stay in place, stop working for money and start learning how to make money work for you. Do not just work for money. Teach money to work for you. Because in the next lesson, we will uncover the secret that separates wealth builders from paycheck chasers. The simple, misunderstood difference between assets and liabilities. Lesson 2. Why understanding money should be taught. Ever wondered why schools teach you everything except how money really works? If you have ever felt like money disappears faster than you earn it, you are not alone. Most people spend their entire lives working hard to earn money, but very few truly understand it. That is the reason so many stay trapped in financial stress their whole lives. It is not about how much money you make. It is about how much money you keep and how wisely you grow it. You have seen it happen again and again. A man wins the lottery, becomes a millionaire overnight, and within a few years, he is broke. Professional athletes earn millions in their 20s, and by their 30s, they are bankrupt. It happens again and again. People earn big, but lose it all. According to CNBC, about 70% of lottery winners go bankrupt within 5 years. They do not fail because of bad luck. They fail because they never learned how money actually works. Rich Dad told Robert, financial education is not taught in school. If you want freedom, you have to teach yourself. And that education begins with one simple rule. Know the difference between an asset and a liability. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. It sounds simple, but most people never live by it. They buy things that look like assets, new cars, big houses, expensive gadgets. But every month, those things quietly take money out of their pockets. Meanwhile, the rich buy real assets, investments, rental properties, stocks, or businesses. Things that earn for them even when they are asleep. Ask yourself this: is what you own feeding you or eating you? That single question can reveal everything about your financial health. So if you truly want to become rich, start focusing on assets, not liabilities. Keep buying things that create income. Avoid things that only create expenses. Remember this forever. It is not about how hard you work for money. It is about how hard your money works for you. And once you understand that difference, the next step is to start building your own asset column. That is exactly what the next lesson is about. Lesson 3, mind your own business. Build something that is truly yours. Have you ever felt like you are working hard, but always for someone else's dream? That is where most people stay for life. They build other people as empires, while their own dreams remain on pause. Rich Dad called this lesson simple but powerful. Mind your own business. It does not mean you should ignore everyone else. It means that even while you are working for someone else, you must quietly keep building something that belongs to you. His poor dad worked hard for a paycheck. His rich dad worked hard to build assets. The difference changed everything. Rich Dad told him, "Keep your job, but start buying assets on the side." That can mean stocks, bonds, rental properties, or a small business. Anything that grows without you trading your time for it. By the third lesson, Robert realized this truth. Real wealth is not about working for money. It is about owning what your money builds. Think of every dollar you invest as an employee. That dollar works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It never sleeps, never gets tired, never calls in sick, and it keeps bringing in more dollars. That is how the rich grow wealth. They hire money to work for them. And here is another difference. The rich buy luxuries last. The poor and middle class buy them first. Most people spend their future income on present comfort. The rich delay gratification. They let their assets pay for their luxuries later. So if you are working hard but still feel stuck, do not just build your company as success. Start quietly building your own. Because once you begin to grow wealth, something interesting happens. The system itself starts to change, and the rich know exactly how to use it to their advantage. That takes us to the next powerful lesson. Lesson 4. The history of taxes and the power of corporations. What if that one word you dread every year, taxes, could actually make you richer? When most people hear the word taxes, they sigh. But Rich Dad saw something different. He saw how the rich use the system, while everyone else gets used by the system. Robert was shocked when his rich dad told him, the rich are not the ones being taxed. It is the middle class, the educated, hard-working people, who pay the most. It sounded unfair, because most people believed the system would finally work for them. But to understand why it did not, we need to look back at how taxes began. In the beginning, income tax was meant only for the rich. Governments promised that taxing the wealthy would help the poor. People liked that idea, so they supported it. But soon the system flipped. Over time, the rich learned how to protect their money, and the middle class became the real taxpayer. The rich use corporations. Corporations are not mysterious. They are simply legal entities, structures that protect money and move it intelligently. Here is the difference. A poor or middle-class person earns money, pays taxes, and then spends what is left. The rich earn money, spend money on their business, and pay taxes only on what remains. That one change in order makes all the difference. A corporation allows the rich to use expenses, like travel, education, equipment, or marketing, before paying tax. Employees, on the other hand, pay taxes first and then live on what is left. Rich Dad always said, "It is not about cheating the system. It is about understanding the system better than others." That is why the rich hire skilled accountants and lawyers, not to hide money, but to legally protect and grow it. Financial literacy gives you the power to control money. Ignorance gives money the power to control you. Robert learned that once you understand how money flows through taxes, laws, and corporations, you can play the financial game at a completely different level. The poor and middle class think the rich are lucky. But luck has nothing to do with it. They simply know the rules better. So remember this. If you learn how the system works, you can protect your wealth and grow it faster than those who do not. And once Robert understood that truth, he was ready for the next stage, learning how to create money itself. Lesson 5. Rich people invent money. What if money was never the goal, but the result of how you think? Most people believe that money is limited, that there is only a fixed amount to go around, and if someone earns more, someone else must lose. Rich Dad taught Robert something completely different. He said, "Money is not real. It is an idea." That one sentence changed everything. Rich people do not wait for opportunities. They create them. They invent money through creativity, awareness, and calculated risk. And that is where real financial intelligence begins. Robert explains that wealth is not built by luck, but by seeing opportunities that others overlook. He and his wife built what they called their personal mutual fund. They bought shares in small companies that were about to go public. When one of those companies entered the stock market, their 25-cent shares became worth $1 each, sometimes far more. That is how they turned a small investment into millions in less than a year. It might sound like gambling, but it is not. Rich Dad said, "It is gambling only if you do not know what you are doing." The difference between risk and stupidity is education. Most people call something risky simply because they do not understand it. They work hard for money, but never learn how to make money work for them. Rich people take smart, educated risks. They invest in ideas, in people, and in systems that multiply wealth. They understand that opportunities are not always visible to the eyes. You have to see them with your mind. That is why financial intelligence matters more than formal education. Because no school will teach you how to create opportunity. You have to train your own mind to do that. When Robert realized this, he stopped chasing jobs and started building ventures. He learned to think like an entrepreneur, someone who looks for problems and turns them into profits. Rich Dad used to say, "The greater your financial education, the easier it becomes to spot opportunities that others call impossible." That is the secret of why rich people seem lucky. They are not lucky. They are simply prepared when luck arrives. So start thinking like a creator, not a consumer. Ask yourself, where can I see opportunity that others cannot? Because in the next lesson, Robert learns something that transforms everything he knows about work. Why we should work to learn, not just work for money. Lesson 6. Work to learn, not work for money. Have you ever wondered why some people are talented, hardworking, and intelligent, yet they never seem to escape financial struggle? Robert once asked his rich dad the same question, and the answer changed his life. Rich Dad said, "The world is full of talented poor people. They are poor not because of what they know, but because of what they never learn." That was the 6th and final lesson. Do not work for money. Work to learn. Most people chase higher salaries. They move from one job to another, hoping that a bigger paycheck will solve everything. But money without skill disappears fast. The goal is not just to earn more, it is to grow wiser with every job you take. Robert noticed something simple yet powerful. When he asked his students, "How many of you can make a better hamburger than McDonald's is?" Almost every hand went up. Then he asked, "If that is true, why does McDonald's make more money than you?" The answer was clear. McDonald's does not just sell burgers, it sells a system, a repeatable, teachable, profitable business model. And that is the secret. It is not about how good you are at one skill. It is about learning how systems, marketing, sales, and leadership work together. Rich Dad taught Robert that every job is an opportunity to learn something new, something that can one day help you build your own business or investments. So instead of asking, "How much will I earn?" start asking, "What will I learn from this?" That shift in mindset can change your entire career. If you learn a little about accounting, a little about communication, and a little about leadership, you will eventually know how to make money move. Most people only focus on what they already know, and that is why they stay stuck in the same loop. They master their craft, but never master the game. The rich, on the other hand, work to learn the game itself. They study how businesses grow, how investments multiply, and how people make decisions. Once you learn those things, you stop being an employee of money and start becoming its master. Life, like money, rewards those who learn faster than others. Every lesson, every mistake, and every challenge teaches you something valuable. Do not run from them, learn from them. Rich Dad used to say, "The moment you stop learning, you stop earning." And that is what Robert realized in this final lesson. The real secret of success is not working harder, it is learning smarter. Because once you stop working only for money, you begin working for freedom. So work to learn. Keep growing your mind, not just your income. Because the more you learn, the more powerful your opportunities become. And now, before we close, here is one bonus insight that ties everything together. The 3 types of income that define financial freedom. Rich Dad taught Robert that there are 3 types of income in this world: earned income, passive income, and portfolio income. and understanding this difference can completely change the way you see your career and your future. Earned income is what you make from your job, the money you work for every month. Passive income is the money you earn from assets like rental properties, investments, or businesses that run without you. Portfolio income is what you earn from stocks, bonds, and other paper assets. Poor and middle-class people focus mainly on earned income. The rich focus on turning earned income into passive and portfolio income as quickly as possible. Rich Dad said, "The government taxes earned income the most and passive income the least. So if you want true freedom, make your money work harder than you do." That is the heart of Rich Dad Poor Dad. It is not about greed, it is about freedom. Freedom to choose, to live, and to help others without financial fear. And remember this, it is not how much money you make, it is how you think about money that determines your future. Every lesson from this book teaches one powerful truth. Wealth is not built by working harder, it is built by thinking differently. The difference between the rich and the poor starts in the mind, long before it shows in the bank account. So if you truly want to master money, do not just read this book once. Study it again and again, until these ideas become part of how you live. If this lesson spoke to you, share it with someone who is working hard but still feels stuck. And if you want more book breakdowns that help you grow smarter, wiser, and more financially free, then subscribe to the Vital Pages. Because here, we do not just read books, we learn how to live them.